My name is Hayley. I am one of the facilitators for the check-in. My coworker is Ray, and she will be by to introduce herself on Wednesday. Like I said, my name is Hayley. I use she, her pronouns, and I manage the behavioral health consulting team over at Howard Brown. I love the idea of mindfulness and meditation, so that's what this space is intended for. It's a call-in space so people can call in and listen along to the activities, and hopefully you can get some of the benefits from just listening along. These are recorded, and hopefully we'll figure out how to put them on our webpage afterwards. I think we're still trying to figure that out so that you can listen back if it was especially helpful for you. So for today, we're going to do 2 different activities and talk a little bit just about some of the ideas of mindfulness. And I'm going back and forth a little bit, still trying to learn the technology, so I apologize. We always also start these out that this is intended to not necessarily be therapy. It is one of the different tools we use sometimes in therapy, but not always. So if you do feel like you need some extra support, or if you feel right now that you're at risk to yourself or others, please make sure you connect with 911 or the emergency room, or call the suicide hotline number, which is 1-800-273-TALK. From there, we will go into one of our first things for today. So I invite you in the space that you're in to find a spot that's comfortable for you. That can be sitting on the floor, that can be laying on the floor, that can be standing up. Whatever it is that is most comfortable for you right now, just let your body settle into that position. And if you can, slowly start to bring your attention into your body. If it's comfortable to you, you can close your eyes. If that's uncomfortable, feel free just to find a spot to gently guide your gaze. That can usually be somewhere in the middle of the floor or at an empty spot on the wall, someplace that doesn't have a whole lot happening for you. And then just notice your body. Notice where the weight falls on your body. If you're standing for this, feel the weight in your feet. If you're sitting, feel the weight in your butt or on your legs. Just notice where the weight falls. And then, if it's available to you, I invite you to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. And for a couple breaths, just notice your breath. And as you're taking your breaths, just notice that you're bringing oxygen into your body. And as you're exhaling, notice a sense of relaxing just a little. Notice your feet wherever they fall, on the floor or on the chair that you're at. And notice what it feels like for your foot to connect with the floor or something beneath you, noticing that it's a grounding sensation. Notice how your legs feel wherever you find yourself seated or standing. Notice where there's pressure, pulsing. Notice any heaviness or lightness. Pay attention to your stomach and your back. Notice what muscles you might be using as you sit or as you stand. If you notice any tension there, just release that a little and let it soften. And now just notice your breath again and take a big deep breath. Notice your hands. See if you can allow them to soften if they're tight, or relax a bit more if they're relaxed. And notice your arms and any sensations you find in your arms. If you find a tense spot, try to release that a little. Move your awareness into your neck and your throat, and let those release and become soft. Notice the muscles in your jaw and allow that to relax also. Notice the muscles in your face, your cheeks, your forehead, and let those all release and soften. Then notice your whole body present with you in the moment. Take one more breath, nice and slow, aware of your whole body as best as you can. Then gently just return back to your breath. And when you're ready in your space, you can open your eyes or shift your glance to a place that feels comfortable. So that practice was a body scan meditation. These can be anywhere from a couple minutes long to 20 or 30 minutes long, depending on what's comfortable for you. So that was one of the things that we wanted to practice today. The other thing, I'm going to try to share my screen with all of you, just so we can go back to one of the slides we used in an earlier session. Let me see if I can do that. So some of the things that we've talked about in different sessions for the self-check-in are some of the components of mindfulness that we're trying to cultivate through this practice. So as I said in other ones, these aren't magically going to happen. These take a while to try to get used to and try to use and kind of experiment with. So no pressure in trying these things, but here are some of the things that hopefully as you practice with us or go along with us, you will notice. All right, so give me 1 second. So the first thing that we are just thinking about as one of the different things of mindfulness is the idea of not judging the different thoughts or emotions we have. This is pretty unusual for most of us, I think. Most of us assign a good or bad to almost everything in our life. That's pretty normal. So this practice asks us to try to not do that, which, doesn't always feel natural, but instead just notice it and kind of label it as it is, instead of saying it is good or it is bad. We're also working towards non-striving, which also doesn't, I think, feel natural to most of us. Non-striving is the idea that we don't necessarily have a goal here. So hopefully as you practice this, you'll feel better. But there isn't kind of the goal of feeling better. Rather, we're just trying to try it and hoping it feels good along the way. We also want to kind of lean into acceptance of what is happening and just naming it in the moment. And then that moves into the next idea, which is letting go, right? So if a thought comes in, we can say, okay, here's that thought, and then try to let it go, like you're letting go of a balloon, right? Every thought that you get, it's a balloon, you're letting it go. You're letting it go. You're letting it go. For those of you who might be new to this or just kind of interested in what this is, the idea of beginner's mind is, I think, a fun concept to consider. So if any of you know a 2-year-old in your life, it's possible that you've watched them maybe open a gift or play with toys, and you'll notice they're actually not interested in the gift or actual toy itself, rather in like the packaging and the string that came with it, because they have a beginner's mind naturally as 2-year-olds. So everything's new to them, and they're exploring every aspect of it to try to get to know it in a new way. That's one of the components that I encourage you to try out when you're doing this. And the last two tie together, which is patience. This is a process for sure. And to trust that yourself and your body will take you kind of where you need, and will work with you through this and hopefully grow. So I know all of those are pretty huge things for us to consider. But those are some of the things I will be naming and kind of asking you to lean into as we go. As always, feel free to do what feels best for you. I don't have the right or wrong answer. This is just actually listen to yourself and doing what feels the best in the moment. So with sharing those things, we're going to move into another practice. All right. So I again encourage you to find a spot that feels comfortable. If you like the spot that was comfortable for you last time, feel free to stick with that. If you want to try something different, feel free to sit on the floor, even lay down on the floor. That can feel grounding for some people. Others really like to stand up and have the sense of the ground underneath them. So I just encourage you to find that spot that feels the most comfortable to you right now. And then I want you to turn inward and notice your body from the inside. So notice the shape and the weight and the touch of the areas where you make contact with the floor or the chair. Just notice that. Notice where that weight is falling. And as we begin, if you need to, you can move around a little bit and just notice how that weight also can shift as you kind of find the spot that's the most comfortable to you. And as you move from noticing where that weight is falling right now, as you're ready and it's available to you, come back to your breath. Some people like to put a hand on their chest and on their stomach, others don't. Just find the spot that's most comfortable for you to feel your breath coming in and going out. Feel the gentle rising and falling of your abdomen. You might notice how the air feels coming in and out of your nostrils. Perhaps a coolness as you breathe out. And if it's available to you, try to make those breaths just a little bit longer and a little bit deeper. The breath is our anchor. It's where we establish our awareness, and it's always something we can return to. As we go about today, you might notice that your attention gets pulled from other things, and that's okay. Just invite your attention to come back to whatever it is that we were focusing on. So right now, if your thoughts or your emotions have shifted, simply invite yourself back to your breath and notice the breath as it's coming in and out. I now invite you to notice the sounds around you. Just for a moment, bring your attention to the sounds inside your room, outside your windows, whatever it is that you can hear. Simply just listen. Listen to the noises with curiosity and interest. Consider what that 2-year-old we talked about earlier might be thinking about these noises. Notice the noises coming and are going. And simply listen. Also note the sound of silence, if any is present. Now I invite you to let go of the hearing and the listening and bring your attention to your body. Notice if there's any body sensations to be aware of right now. You might notice pressure or tightness. Maybe movement or vibration. You might notice heat or cold or something in between. Just check in with your body and notice all the sensations that are calling out to you right now. Check in with them and then let that sensation go also. Perhaps checking in with another sensation. You might notice that some are strong sensations and some might be very mild. You might also notice something unpleasant. Again, just sit with it and then let it go. Again, notice what your body's telling you with curiosity. No need to make up a story about the experience, just notice and see if you can let it go. Returning back to your body. Now I invite you to move back to your breath. Just find your breath. We were paying attention to other things, so just come back and notice your breath. As you return to your breath, you might notice that your thoughts or your emotions might want to go backwards to your body or the sounds, or they might want to go forwards. It's okay, just notice that and bring everything back to your breath. Again, try to make your breaths a little bit deeper and just a little bit longer, whatever feels comfortable for your body. And then as you move from your breath, invite yourself to explore through your mind's eye whatever it is you need to right now. That might be your body, that might be the sounds around you, that might still be your breath. Whatever that is, spend a few moments with it. And then let that go. And return back to your anchor and return back to your breath. Feel the breath come in and out. Allow yourself to relax into your breath. I invite you to wish yourself well and recite the following things to yourself if they feel available to you. May I be happy and at ease. May I be free from stress and anxiety. May I be peaceful. And for the last couple seconds, allow yourself to consider the possibility of finding peace or ease right now. I invite you again to tune into your breath. As you're ready, start to move your fingers, your toes, and allow that movement to move through your body to wake it back up a little bit as you re-enter the space where you practiced today. Open your eyes, move what feels comfortable or appropriate to move for you. Things might have shifted. As I said, hopefully these recordings will be on the website within a couple days. If you'd like to go back and listen, If you have any questions, you can email myself or Ray. My email is Hayley, my first name that's on the screen if you can see the screen, Hayley, V as in Victor, victory, @howardbrown.org. It was a pleasure to be with you all today. I wish you peace for the rest of your day. Come back on Wednesday if it was helpful.